We're going to explore the patient card file within CBORD. So in order to access the card file, you're going to click on the Nutrition Services icon and then click Card File. This brings you to a search box where you can search for your patient. So I'm going to use our test patient. And as you can see, it's highlighted in blue, so then I click Open, and that populates the card file. So on the first tab, we have some general information. So the name of the patient, MRN number, their admit date, their date of birth, and their room and bed number. Up at the top, we see some of this information summarized, so we have it at quick glance even when we move to the different tabs. Also in this top box, we see the patient's diet order and allergy information. So we see that this patient is on a Veg 2 diet, and at HHS, this means a vegetarian diet that allows fish. We also see HG. Now this is a site diet. So this indicates to CBORD that the patient is at Hamilton General and allows it to only print items that are available at that site. Next, the allergy information. So when an allergy diet like this is present, food items containing the allergens listed will not print on the patient's meal ticket, on their paper menus, and it will not show up on the room service tablet. This ensures that a patient is not offered or served food items that they are allergic to. In the case of our test patient, we see that they have an apple allergy and a nut allergy. If we want more information about diet orders, we can click on the next tab, Orders, and then click on Diets. So in the diet order pop-up here, we see not only the current diet as indicated by the check mark, we see the previous diets that were ordered for this patient. So we see they were possibly admitted and put on an NPO diet, which means they were given no food. Then they were upgraded to a mildly thick fluids with pureed food, then to slightly thick minced all food, and then upgraded to their vegetarian diet with no modifications in the fluids. The next tab we're going to look at is the Selections tab. So this tab can be used to see what the patient has been receiving on their meal tray. So CBORD organizes that information by date here. So I'm going to go back to the 3rd, because that's the last time a ticket was printed for this patient. And we see that this is populated here with the food items that they were receiving. And we can also toggle between the different meals to view each tray. So another great feature in the Selections tab is looking at the nutrition information. So when I click on Edit Selections, I again see that list of food, and when I scroll over, I see different nutrition markers here with their values below. Another great feature is these totals at the bottom. So we've got a meal total as well as a daily total. Also, if there's a nutrient that you are looking for that doesn't seem to be on this list up here, you can click on Add Nutrient and double click on any that you would like to look at. You may be wondering where CBORD gets the information to print on the ticket. So in this case, our test patient didn't make any room service selections, and there was no menu marked for them. So CBORD simply provided a standard meal based on the patient's diet order. So when I go scroll to the side here and look under source, I see what says course requirement level, and that's CBORD indicating that this patient received a standard tray. So the way CBORD is programmed is it actually categorizes foods into courses, as you can see listed here under diet course, and a standard menu gives a predetermined selection of courses for each meal. So we see here that breads, a breakfast entree, cereal, fruit juice, milk, and a beverage, as well as the condiments here, are all requirements of the standard tray for breakfast. Another source we see down here is preferences. So we're going to explore where that comes from. If we look at the tab up here, we notice that it says preferences, and when we click on it, we can see that our test patient has some preferences put in place. We'll go through these a bit more. If you click on edit, this is where preferences can be changed. So there's different options that we can explore in the preference tab. So preferences can be added, they can be removed, and they can be substituted. The avoid function is not used because it is not reliable. So at HHS, that is a decision that was made. So just examples down here. So for breakfast, we've added eggs to eat, so ensuring that the patient gets an egg dish at breakfast. At lunch, you can see the dessert courses have been removed in order to add vanilla ice cream, so they will get ice cream instead of the usual dessert that would be on a standard tray. We have also added cheese and hummus that will be delivered at alternating days at lunchtime, and that's going to be in addition to the regular entree that's usually provided. As you can see, unlike the ice cream, we didn't remove the entree for lunch, we have just simply added an extra one. Again, at dinner, we've added a supplement, so the Ensure Compact Vanilla, and at HS Snack, which is the evening snack, we are going to have one sandwich served to the patient. So this is a great function for when you want to alter or add the items that your patient is being given. It's also important to remember that items entered in preferences are only given if they are compliant on the current diet. So for example, a turkey sandwich would not be given at HS Snack because this patient was on a vegetarian diet. Likewise, they would not receive a peanut butter sandwich since this goes against their nut allergy. So the last section I want to explore is the notes section. So when you go down here, you see this notes button with two little plus signs beside it. The plus signs indicate that there is a note there. So let's check that out. Most of our notes are kept in food preferences. So clicking on that, clicking on this to open it up, and we see that there are some notes added here. Now there is a standardized format in which these notes are written to make sure that they are legible and able to communicate the right information to anyone who views them. So we'll just quickly go over what it says here. So on August 29th, that's when the allergy to apples and nuts was added. On August 30th, as per the ward, they let us know that the patient was on a vegetarian diet, but fish was okay, so a Veg 2 diet was implemented. On August 31st, as per intern Sabrina, an egg dish at breakfast, ice cream at lunch as dessert, cheese or hummus at lunch in addition to the entree, and the Ensure Compact at dinner and sandwich at HS were added into the preferences. So anytime changes are made in the card file, they should be documented in the notes section. And that's our card file.